Alright, so we're gonna kind of get into the Anata controversy. It's kind of interesting. You know how gaming is nowadays. Controversy is a dime a dozen, controversies are a dime a dozen, and this seems to be a new anime game that was promoted by PlayStation itself on their official page. Anata also has their own YouTube channel as well, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But they describe Anata as formerly known as Project Mugen, a free-to-play urban open-world RPG that's all about embracing the unexpected. And as you see with the gameplay here, you see like just random elements, people having a party, which is kind of, you know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of this is like some of this opening kind of reminds me of the GTA 6 trailer. It's like just dead on the nose in my personal opinion. And you have a variety of mini games with your waifu. This is exactly the GTA 6 trailer. All right, there is no denying it at this point. I'm kind of surprised because I just saw this trailer. This is my first time actually seeing it. So you got basketball, all that other fun shit. You know, you want to go ahead and pioneer your waifus, robots on the streets, ostriches. It's just going absolutely crazy, and that's what the description of the game describes. A lot of full-on elements. That is being harbored here, but the controversy seems to be that Anata is ripping off a ton of other games, animation-wise, visually, in terms of like just certain things that are happening. Like I said, you can compare the opening of some of this trailer to them taking exactly from Grand Theft Auto 6, which I'm going to show in a minute. Hold on. I gotta figure out which trailer that was. I think that was GTA trailer 1? It was the first trailer for GTA 6. I go here, like a rock star, and when you see these goddamn people walking on the beach, this shot right here, I mean, come on, bro. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, come on, bro. It's like some of the same similar inspiration. Now, personally speaking, games can take inspirations from other games. We've seen this happen before. You know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I mean, stuff like Grand Theft Auto blowing up and being popular and being successful led to what I would consider to be one of the greatest eras in gaming, in my personal opinion, which was the GTA clone boom. Like, we got a bunch of cool stuff out of that, like Saints Row, True Crime. That shit was awesome to play back then, honestly. And most folks will say, oh, they just simply ripped off GTA and that's it. But you know, they did their own spin on the open world crime genre. And personally speaking, like, you weren't a cop in Grand Theft Auto, you were a criminal. In True Crime, you're a cop and you do different stuff, and there's different animations and different things going on. You can wield 2 guns. You couldn't do that before until like San Andreas. So it was fucking awesome back then, right? That's the type of ingenuity I want to see when a developer is inspired by someone to create in the same genre, but they do something interesting and intriguing with it, like Sleeping Dogs being all in Hong Kong, and you got the martial arts moves and some of the best like fighting in open world crime game to that date, where GTA wasn't really refining and doing all that yet. We don't know how GTA 6 will go, but still, that's sort of me breaking that down. That's where I prefer it. What I don't prefer, and where I'm going to differ and where I start to disagree, is exactly when people start to try to pass it off, and they try to say that, you know, some of these inspirations and this exact one-for-one copying is not a ripoff, and it's a big roundabout way of describing it. So, okay, I'm going to read the counter statement here, and it's like, Anata was heavily advertised and marketed by Sony. They have no problem with it. I don't think they are going to issue a counter lawsuit like some people are proposing if they are the ones that are promoting the game. I think that's dumb to say, oh, they're gonna sue what they are promoting on their own page. They are aware, they know of this. I understand that argument 100%. Sony owns Insomniac Games. Once again, he's signaling that They have no issue with it. NetEase published Anata, and they are also partnered with Marvel and produces arguably the most popular Marvel game in recent years, which is Marvel Rivals. NetEase and Sony had a high-profile partnership back in 2021. Likely their partnership and roles have expanded over the years. So if there was really a problem, Sony will be the one to sue. Evidently, Sony is not just fine with it, but supportive of it, and that statement is true. I don't think there's going to be a situation that's similar to Light of Moitram, because Sony is actually co-producing this game. They are in on the plot, they are in on the partnership, they are in on the money, whereas with this slavish-like clone of Horizon Zero Dawn, Sony actually sued Tencent for millions for exactly trying to rip off Horizon Zero Dawn, whereas this one, it's like, it's okay, we're the ones that are kind of behind it a bit, we're making money from it, it's all good, it's all gravy. I don't think this is gonna lead to a lawsuit on Anata's behalf, and this is why I wanted to show this, because it's not gonna be the exact same situation as this ripoff right here. But I just want to say, for the record, alright, despite me saying this, despite me saying that people can be excited for Anata, despite me saying that this game can exist in a vacuum, one thing that people should be aware of is it is fine to say this game is blatantly ripping off animations and scenes from other Sony greatest hits, and it can be called out and cited for what it is. It's true, right? This is the same exact car sequence from Uncharted. Like, I'm gonna play it frame by frame. Like, it's the exact same. All right, I found it. You look at this. Drake is getting like dragged all through the mud, and there's fucking cars everywhere. There's mud. You're getting bumped into things in the environment. It's a crazy sequence. I would argue, like one of the videos says right there, it's one of the best chase scenes on the PS4. Honestly, fucking marvel how they got this all done and coordinated. And then you look at Anata, which is copying the same chase, except the guy has like symbiote arms. So I guess that's kind of funny. And there's quick time events, and you're bumping into things. And it's like 1 for 1. No super different variation outside a symbiote arm and some of the anime aesthetic, and that's it. And I think it's fine for someone to say, yo, they completely ripped that off. You can't avoid it. You can't talk around it. It is what it is. It could be solidified, it could be set in stone. There's other examples as well of Anata doing this. So I'm gonna see if I can find it. Here we go. We got a whole thread of it, from Prototype apparently to Sleeping Dogs, where they have this same animation of, you know, you go over a bad guy, you grab him, boom, it's like the same. All right, the exact same 1 for 1. You can't really say it's not, because it is. Let's see, what else do we have? Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the big one, where I like, again, is there some explanation as to why this guy can do this, or is it just like Anime 101 crazy town with these abilities? I know Spider-Man, he has the symbiote. Therefore, this is just like, how, like, do they actually explain why he can do that? I don't know. That's the main thing in my brain right now, is I think like 1,000 different things. But yes, GTA, obviously we saw that. And let's see, what else? Oh my god, we got copyright music in the building. Oh my god, party like a rock star. All right, let me stop fucking around. Oh, that's the Franklin mission. That is the exact one. You just snipe everyone. Watchdogs as well? Okay. Interesting. I like the little Tetris thing that comes up there. That's at least a cool visual that something's still going on in the environment after a blackout. So I'm not going to fully like shit on it. But yeah, these are taking from the greatest hits. And pawning it off and putting it into one big amalgamation and experience. And I saw the GTA 5 map as well in Anata. You can call this stuff for what it is, and I don't think that people should be getting mad over it and trying to, you know, I get the part where Sony is allowing it. That's where you're right. But saying, oh, you know, they've been doing this for Genshin for years. And I think I made a post to someone saying, normies just found out that China is notorious for stealing assets. And it's funny. And I said, it's still a ripoff no matter what context you put that into, no matter what context is put into, whether someone discovers it late or early or whatever. It goes the same for any Chinese game that stole assets or blatantly ripped off some other game in particular as well. What I find intriguing here is the amount of people defending it. If this was any other studio that a person disliked, I guarantee that they will want to put that studio to the gallows for doing an asset flip. That's how you know Twitter is comically funny in those regards, and I thoroughly believe that's true. Like, say Insomniac went out and stole a bunch of animations from, let me say, a Naruto game or something like that. Do you really believe that they wouldn't be put to pasture if that hypothetical actually happened? They would be hanged for that shit. Naturally hanged. And there are folks also citing and making arguments, and this is not my argument, but this is their argument, and I'm just putting it on screen. There are folks saying, I don't know if I can find it, but if I don't, I'll just paraphrase it. They're saying that they're just giving anime games that do this a pass. Alright? And that's not my opinion, that's the opinion of someone else on X. I can't find their post, but they're saying folks are just simply giving these anime games a pass for copying all of this shit, and they won't keep the same energy. And when it comes to another developer or someone else doing it that they can't stand, they will be quick to point that out, dog on them, dog pile, and I do believe that may have a bit of credence to it, considering the whole notion, like, just like, yeah, it could be called for what it is. You could enjoy it. I like what this guy says. How about the poorly disguised remix and the rip of GTA character changing mechanics and animations? And I personally think on top of that, because you could blatantly see it, on top of that, if you're going to rip off something like, let's say, the Nemesis system, right? Well, I mean, you can't do the Nemesis system because it's patented till like 2037, but hypothetically, let's say if someone ripped that off, I would be fine with it if they put it as their own new unique thing that's not exactly the Nemesis system, but it works in a similar fashion, and it works with the game with the new mechanics introduced. Like, it's not a 100% rip-off, but it is a game where it's like you have the open world element. Let's compare it to, like, it has an open world element or something like that, and they use a mechanic and they try to do everything new to where you don't really notice, and it's still its own standalone game despite having like new animations, new story, new content, trying to break the paradigm of gaming, even though it has a similar element to something that was done in the past. That's when it's done well enough to say, oh, this is original, you could pass this off as original, or they did that mechanic better. Like Sleeping Dogs was a perfect one where the hand-to-hand was done better in Sleeping Dogs than in GTA, and it's like, oh yeah, you can pass that off, it's fine. Even though it's an open world crime game, you could pass it off. But if it's a straight rip, yeah, I could see people having some critiques of this fashion to where it's like, I don't know how I really feel about that. No, that's not really the most original thing, to take piece by piece from a trailer or set piece and try to pass it off as you've done it originally. It's like, no, you can definitely call that for what it is. I'm looking for more defenses, by the way, and I am not seeing them. I am not seeing them, even though I saw them earlier, so I'm just gonna linger around a little bit, and then I think that's my opinion done. You can obviously make games like this, and you can it's, you know, I don't really play a lot of Chinese games, so I'm not really surprised. And then someone's talking about American copyright psychos and how they don't agree with that. I agree to an extent. Yeah, I I actually fully agree. Where they patent shit and they try to say, oh, you can't use this or you can't use that. That's kind of annoying because someone could do something interesting with it and this company's like holding it down like a dog. And no one really cares if a game copies another game as long as it's good. And would you look at that? The one trying to create controversy over nothing is also a blue check mark. Well, again, like I said, I think this could be called into fruition for sure for ripping things off. You can call a spade a spade. You could call a ball. If it's a ball, I'm gonna say it's a ball. If it's like a spade, I'm gonna say it's a spade. Like it is what it is. The game could be good, yeah, it could have some quality control, but it's still taking animations from GTA, Spider-Man 2, and almost everything else, so you can't really get mad at that, or you can't try to downplay the notion. That's kind of just weird to do. That's literally China's entire economy. Oh, bro, I think I'm done. Okay, that's it. Isn't stealing is purchasing? What? You're purchasing asset flips? Oh yeah, all right. Oh, this is kind of funny. So yeah, I do think there is a sort of bias to it. There is a sort of, hey, it's fine if they do it, but if someone else does it, then let's put them on the guillotine, right? Yeah, I do think that's a little bit of that is going on. But if Sony is fine with it, then hey, I mean, if they're not suing, then hey, if they want to let it rock, that's fine, but you can call it for what it is. The last thing I want to post at the end of this video is I found more replies that I disagree with, and this guy's talking about, hey, Power World stole certain things from Ark Survival, Pokemon, and Evergoals from Elden Ring, and it made a banger game. And then he's talking about AAA Giga Slop. Like, okay, I don't know why people decided to put the word slop into a sentence of a game that stole animations from another person, scene for scene. You could take elements and mechanics and thematics and shape them to your own originality with a different game. But if you're not willing to call blatant ripoffs slop or lazy in some capacity, then you're just kind of defending the opposition there when they call it for what it is. Again, a game can have elements of imitation and it could be its own thing and it could do that and they could do completely brand new animations, but if you won't accept that this is also sloppy and lazy, then I think there's some denial going on there for sure. You know, straight up just copying someone's work one for one, that is blatantly stealing shit. Like, just like this guy says right here, this is what I agree with. That's exactly what they're doing. So to downplay that element, I don't know why people are doing that. Like, why can't you just say it is what it is? Hey, I'm still looking forward to playing it, but I vaguely remember this scene from Uncharted 4. I vaguely remember this scene from another game. It's like, it's fine to still be interested despite knowing that, but just say it's a one-for-one asset flip of something else, and that's it. Like, I don't get the damage control because anime game. And there was someone in here also saying, oh, it's not a Sweet Baby game, so it's fine. But look, let's be honest, like, you guys keep talking about Sweet Baby like it's the boogeyman in the back of your head, but Spider-Man 2 like sold tons of copies with that in mind. I'm pretty sure Wolverine is also going to be a financial success, Sweet Baby or not. It is what it is. These are high profile AAA games that people are invested into playing with top tier Marvel characters that gravitate the brand to monetary value. X-Men, Spider-Man, let's look at DC, fucking Batman. Like, those characters just gravitate money, Sweet Baby or not. It is what it is. I don't know why people are kind of downplaying it and denying it when the popularity of these characters and the money that they make, it speaks for itself, alongside Insomniac making fun gameplay mechanics. So, like, Spider-Man 2 was a fun game despite the third act being rushed. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end the video really here. You could take something and do something better with it, but at the same time, if you're one for one stealing assets and whatnot, it is a thing that you did it. You are guilty, and that's fine. But people are gonna let you know, and it is what it is. As my computer just does a bunch of dumb shit. Like, oh man. But I enjoyed making this one. Hopefully I make more like this in the future, and you guys stay tuned. I'll see you later.